Welcome to our podcast that has earned recognition in 2019 and this year, 2020, as having been named one of the very best podcasts in market research. This is Research Business Daily Report. Now, if you'd like to lend your support to our video, please go to RBDR's exclusive community at the crowdfunding platform patreon.com/RBDR. I'm Bob Lederer, for more than 25 years, the respected voice in market research. We're going to talk some more today about data quality, and we begin with a discussion of the success of any data quality initiative. That includes the one that's directly in front of the industry right now. Its success is determined by a handful of variables, but probably foremost among them is the role played by client organizations. After all, they pay the bills. Their insistence that data quality be scrupulously followed in the project work done on their behalf is vital to the continuation of data quality. Now, one of the heads of client research who is unafraid to speak on the subject is Charles Guilbeau. He's the Vice President of Consumer and Shopper Understanding at Ferrero, North America. Charles consented to answer a few of our data quality questions, and here's his side of our conversation.
When you ask what I think about the definition of quality, I would say it really comes down to three things. The first is, of course, having respondents who are engaged in the survey and answering your questions as accurately as possible in terms of what they believe. The second, and probably the most important though, is a representative and projectable population that you're trying to represent. And then I would say, thirdly, it's being able to consistently capture that population over time so that your results are consistent from wave to wave, and any changes are not due to your sampling method, but due to actual changes in consumer attitudes or behavior. I actually, when I think about the quality that the vendors deliver in terms of sample, I expect it to be a operating competence of the vendors, that they know how to select and clean and balance and manage samples from third-party vendors. So I actually don't get involved in that aspect of the process. However, when I see anomalies in data, I go back and check the sample sources. And if I identify an issue related to the sample, then that becomes a really serious discussion with the vendor, which in some cases results in eliminating the research, not basically throwing out a wave and not paying for the research, having a replacement, or even changing the vendor. I've worked at multiple companies, and I think quality has always been something that's very important to all companies, but I don't know that they really make an extra effort to validate the quality. And it really takes an event where results are not really believable and an issue is identified, versus being a more proactive practice on a number of companies. Absolutely, I agree, Bob, that if the entire client-side industry were demanding higher standards of vendors, that we would see an improvement and everybody would benefit from that. Right now, I think it's a more episodic investigation here and there that identifies issues versus a systematically raising the practice of the industry and the quality practices that are followed. What I think is going to happen is that we've reached a tipping point where some of the quality practices are going to be much more evident, more and more to the extent now that there are client-side organizations forming to share points of view on the issues and identify the issues and collectively try to solve them.
That wraps up this edition of Research Business Daily Report. If you make it a habit to watch us either occasionally or all the time, we think you've got some pretty good taste. And we also assume that you find RBDR is time well spent. After all, why otherwise would you be watching? And we don't want you to hesitate to recommend any of our videos to your friends and peers. In fact, pass them along. We also hope that you will consider becoming a supporter, an RBDR Patreon supporter. which you can do at patreon.com/RBDR. So have a great research day. We'll look forward to seeing you back here with us tomorrow. And until then, above all, stay safe.